Jamaica, famous for reggae, beaches and bold spirit. But did you know its very name comes from the words land of wood and water? This beautiful island nation, nestled in the heart of the Caribbean Sea, conjures powerful images for people all over the world. We picture sun-drenched beaches with powdery white sand and impossibly clear turquoise waters. We hear the laid-back yet profound rhythms of reggae music, a sound that has journeyed from this small island to touch every corner of the globe. The legendary figure of Bob Marley often comes to mind, a musical prophet whose songs of love, unity and justice continue to inspire millions, decades after his time. The island's identity is also painted with vibrant colors and bold flavors. We think of the brilliant green, gold and black of its national flag, each color telling a story of its history and its hopes for the future. The spicy, smoky aroma of jerk chicken sizzling over pimento wood is a taste that has become famous far beyond its shores. Jamaica is a place of energy, a culture so powerful and distinct that it feels larger than the island itself. It is a spirit of joy, resilience and creativity that captures the imagination. This global image, so rich and compelling, is the first chapter in the story of Jamaica. But to truly understand this remarkable place, we must look deeper, beyond the familiar sights and sounds. Before the first reggae beat was ever played, before the first ship of tourists arrived, and even before the first European explorers set foot on its shores, this island had a name. It was a name given by its earliest inhabitants, a name that spoke not of music or beaches, but of the very land itself. This original name holds the key to the island's soul, a secret whispered through centuries of history. It tells a tale of lush forests, winding rivers, and a deep connection between people and nature. To uncover the true meaning of Jamaica, we must travel back in time, to a world that existed long before the one we know today, and listen to the voices of its first people. This journey into the past reveals that the name Jamaica is more than just a label on a map. It is a living piece of history, a bridge connecting the island's ancient heritage to its dynamic present. It embodies the natural beauty that first captivated its original inhabitants and continues to awe visitors today. It carries the echoes of a complex and often painful history, but it also stands as a powerful symbol of strength, freedom, and national pride. The story of why Jamaica is called Jamaica is, in essence, the story of the island itself. A tale of breathtaking nature, enduring human spirit, and a culture that resonates with the entire world. Long before the arrival of Christopher Columbus and the sweeping changes that followed, Jamaica was home to a gentle and peaceful people known as the Taino. They were the island's first inhabitants, arriving in waves of migration from the mainland of South America around 650 AD. The Taino were skilled navigators, farmers, and artisans who established a thriving society across the Caribbean. They lived in villages called ukayeks, often built near the coast or along the many rivers that crisscrossed the island. Their lives were deeply intertwined with the natural world. They believed that spirits, known as zemis, lived in the trees, the rocks, the rivers, and the sky, guiding and protecting them. The Taino people had a rich culture and a sophisticated social structure. They were led by chieftains, or caciques, and their society was organized and harmonious. They were expert farmers, cultivating crops that are still central to Caribbean cuisine today, such as cassava, sweet potatoes, maize, and beans. They were also masterful fishers, using nets and spears to harvest the bounty of the sea. Their language, a member of the Arawakan language family, was poetic and descriptive. It was through their words that they captured the essence of their world, giving names to the islands, the animals, and the natural phenomena that surrounded them. It is from the Taino language that the very first name for the island emerged. They did not see the land simply as a place to live. They saw it as a living entity, a provider of all they needed. Their name for the island was a reflection of this profound connection. They looked at the towering green mountains, covered in dense, ancient forests. They saw the countless rivers and streams that flowed from these highlands, carving paths through the landscape and bringing life to the fertile valleys below. The island was a paradise of abundant wood and life-giving water, a reality that formed the core of their existence. Tragically, the arrival of the Spanish in 1494 marked the beginning of the end for the Taino civilization in Jamaica. Disease, forced labor, and conflict led to a rapid and devastating decline in their population. Within a few generations, their vibrant society had all but vanished. Yet while the Taino people may have disappeared, their legacy did not. It endures in the names of places, in the foods we eat, and most importantly, in the very name of the island itself. Their voice, though faint, still echoes through the centuries, reminding us of the original inhabitants who first named this remarkable land. The name the Taino people gave to their island home was Xaymaca. Pronounced Xaymaca, this beautiful word was a simple yet profound description of the world they saw around them. In their Arawakan language, Xaymaca translates directly to land of wood and water. It is a name born from observation and deep appreciation. The wood referred to the island's vast and dense forests, which once covered the mountains and lowlands in a thick blanket of green. The water spoke of the incredible abundance of springs, rivers, and waterfalls that flowed throughout the island, a network of life-sustaining arteries. This name perfectly captures the island's extraordinary natural geography. Jamaica is a place of dramatic contrasts, from the soaring peaks of the Blue Mountains to the lush flat plains. The wood of Xaymaca was not just any forest, it was a rich ecosystem teeming with unique plants and animals. Giant mahogany and cedar trees stood tall, while the pimento tree, source of allspice, grew in abundance. These forests provided the Taino with everything they needed: timber for their homes and canoes, medicinal plants for healing, and a habitat for the animals they hunted. The deep green canopy was the island's crown, a testament to its fertility and wildness. The water of Xaymaca was equally significant. Jamaica is blessed with over 120 rivers, which flow from the central mountain ranges down to the coast. These rivers, like the Rio Grande and the Martha Brae, were the lifelines of the Taino. They provided fresh water for drinking and farming, a source of fish for food, and natural pathways for travel through the dense interior of the island. The countless waterfalls, such as the famous Dunn's River Falls, were not just beautiful spectacles, they were sacred places, believed to be homes for the spirits. The water was a symbol of life, purity, and constant renewal. So, when the Taino named their home Xaymaca, they were creating a poetic map of its essential character. The name was not just a label, it was a declaration of the island's identity. It told the story of a land defined by its natural wealth, a place where lush vegetation and flowing water were the two most powerful and defining features. This name reveals a worldview where humans lived in harmony with their environment, seeing themselves not as masters of the land, but as part of its intricate and beautiful design. The spirit of Xaymaca, the land of wood and water, is a legacy that continues to define Jamaica to this day. When Christopher Columbus and his Spanish fleet landed on the shores of Xaymaca in 1494, they encountered a new world and a new language. As they tried to document their discoveries, they listened closely to the names the Taino used for their lands. The Spanish tongue, though, was very different from the Arawakan language of the Taino. They heard the word Xaymaca, and in their efforts to write it down and pronounce it, they adapted it to fit their own phonetic rules. The X sound, which the Taino pronounced as shach, was interpreted and transcribed into Spanish script, eventually evolving into a J sound. Over time, the Spanish spelling and pronunciation began to take hold. On their maps and in their official records, the island was referred to as Santiago. However, the indigenous name proved to be resilient. In common usage, the name Jamaica, a Spanish approximation of Xaymaca, became more prevalent. It was easier to say and held the echo of the island's original identity. For over 150 years of Spanish rule, the name Jamaica coexisted with the official colonial name, a quiet testament to the enduring legacy of the Taino. The Spanish focused on exploiting the island for resources, but they unintentionally preserved its ancient name. In 1655, a new chapter in the island's history began when England captured Jamaica from the Spanish. The English, like the Spanish before them, had their own way of hearing and writing foreign words. They took the Spanish name Jamaica and formalized it within their own language. The English pronunciation, Ju-Meku, became the standard, and the spelling Jamaica was cemented as the official name of the British colony. This final transformation marked the end of a long linguistic journey, from the Taino Xaymaca to the Spanish Jamaica and finally to the English version we know today. The adoption of the English spelling was more than just a linguistic shift, it signified a transfer of power. The island was now firmly under British control, and its name, though rooted in its indigenous past, was now an English word. The British colonial era would go on to reshape the island's society, economy, and culture in profound ways. Yet, beneath the surface of this new colonial identity, The name Jamaica still carried the ancient meaning given to it by the Taino. It remained the land of wood and water, a physical reality that no change in language or power could ever erase. During the long and brutal centuries of British colonial rule, the island of Jamaica was transformed into a massive sugar-producing colony. This economic engine was fueled by the transatlantic slave trade, which brought hundreds of thousands of enslaved Africans to the island against their will. For these men and women, forced to labor under horrific conditions, the name Jamaica took on a new and painful meaning. It was the name of their prison, a land of immense suffering and oppression. The wood was no longer just for building homes, it was for cutting cane, and the water was a constant reminder of the vast ocean separating them from their homeland. Yet, even in this dark period, the name Jamaica also became a symbol of survival and resistance. For the enslaved people, the island's challenging terrain, the dense forests and rugged mountains of Xaymaca, offered a chance for freedom. Those who managed to escape the plantations fled into the island's interior, forming communities of free people known as Maroons. They used their deep knowledge of the land, the wood and water, to fight for their liberty and establish their own societies. For the Maroons, the name Jamaica represented the very land they were fighting to make their own, a sanctuary from the brutality of the plantations. The spirit of resistance was not confined to the Maroon communities. Across the island, enslaved people held on to their cultural identities, blending African traditions with their new environment. They created new forms of music, language and spiritual beliefs that were uniquely Jamaican. In their songs and stories, the island itself became a central character. The name Jamaica was woven into their expressions of sorrow, hope, and defiance. It became more than just a colonial label, it was the name of the place where they were forging a new identity, a new culture born out of struggle and resilience. This period of history forever changed the meaning of the name. It was no longer just a poetic description of nature. It was now infused with the stories of human endurance, courage, and the unyielding desire for freedom. The name Jamaica became a vessel holding the collective memory of suffering and the powerful legacy of resistance. It was a name that had been claimed and redefined by the very people who were oppressed under it. This transformation laid the groundwork for the name to become a powerful emblem of national pride in the years to come. On August 6, 1962, a new era dawned for the island. Jamaica gained its independence from British rule, and for the first time in its modern history, it stood as a sovereign nation. On that historic day, the British flag was lowered, and the new Jamaican flag, black, green and gold, was raised in its place. In that moment, the name Jamaica was fully reclaimed by its people. It was no longer a colonial outpost or a plantation economy. It was the name of a free and proud nation, ready to chart its own course and share its unique identity with the world. Independence gave the name Jamaica a powerful new significance. It became a symbol of self-determination and national unity. The country's motto, "Out of many, one people," reflects the diverse heritage of its citizens, from its Taino roots to its African, European, and Asian influences. The name Jamaica now encompassed all of these histories, representing a nation forged from a complex past but looking forward to a shared future. It became a source of immense pride, a name to be celebrated in song, sport, and every aspect of national life. To say "I am Jamaican" became a powerful declaration of identity. In the decades following independence, Jamaica began to make an outsized impact on the global stage. The name became synonymous with creativity, excellence, and an unmistakable spirit. In the world of music, the infectious rhythms of reggae and dancehall carried the name Jamaica to every continent. Artists like Bob Marley became global ambassadors, sharing messages of peace and justice that resonated with people everywhere. The name Jamaica began to represent a culture of innovation and a voice for the oppressed, a small island with a message big enough for the whole world to hear. In the arena of sports, the name Jamaica became a byword for speed and athletic prowess. Sprinters like Usain Bolt and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price dominated international athletics, making the small nation a track and field superpower. When these athletes stood on the Olympic podium, draped in the Jamaican flag, they brought immense pride to their nation. The name Jamaica became associated with hard work, talent, and the ability to achieve greatness against all odds. It was a powerful reminder that a nation's strength is not measured by its size but by the heart and spirit of its people. Today, the name Jamaica resonates with a power that far exceeds the island's geographical boundaries. It is a brand, a feeling, and an identity known and loved across the world. This modern significance is deeply connected to its ancient roots. The land of wood and water, that the Taino named centuries ago, is still the foundation of the island's appeal. The lush green mountains, the cascading waterfalls, and the stunning coastline continue to draw people to its shores. The natural beauty that inspired the name Xaymaca is the same beauty that fuels its tourism industry and inspires its artists. The journey of the name from Xaymaca to Jamaica is a story of survival and transformation. It reflects the island's ability to absorb influences from different cultures, Taino, Spanish, British, African, and more, and create something entirely new and unique. The name itself is a fusion of languages and histories, a perfect metaphor for the nation's motto, "Out of many, one people." It serves as a constant reminder that modern Jamaican identity is built upon a rich and complex past, a heritage that is acknowledged and celebrated rather than forgotten. The name Jamaica now connects this ancient heritage with a vibrant, modern strength. It is a link between the quiet world of the Taino and the global stage where Jamaican musicians, athletes, and thinkers shine. When we hear the name Jamaica, we think of both the tranquil rivers of the past and the powerful rhythms of today's dancehall. We see both the dense, untamed forests of Xaymaca and the determined faces of its Olympic champions. The name holds this beautiful duality, representing both the natural paradise and the resilient, creative spirit of its people. The story of how Jamaica got its name is therefore a profound source of inspiration. It teaches us that a name can be more than just a word. It can be a story, a legacy, and a source of incredible strength. It shows how a name rooted in the natural world can evolve to represent a nation's journey through hardship, to freedom, and global influence. The story of Jamaica is a testament to the enduring power of heritage and the unbreakable spirit of a people who have claimed their name and made it sing for the entire world to hear. If this story gave you new insight, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Which country's name should we uncover next? Drop your suggestion below.